Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel. Myself Professor S.R. Shinge. I am working as Assistant Professor in Information Technology Department of Dr. J.J. Mugdum College of Engineering, Jaisingpur. I have prepared video lectures on data communication subject. This subject is included in the syllabus of Shivaji University, Kolhapur for second year BTech Information Technology students. These videos are also useful for engineering students of CSC and IT department, BCA, MCA and BSc IT students. Because data communication subject is a basic of computer network subject. If you want to learn computer network, you must study the data communication subject. So data communication it is a basic subject for the computer network. To prepare these videos, I have referred the data communications and networking book by Behruz A. Frozen, 4th edition. You can also refer this book to learn the data communication subject. In this video, I have explained about the introduction to data communications and networking. So let's start with the data communications and we will see what is meant by data communication. So in general, when we communicate, then we are sharing the information or some data with other person. Okay, so in real time communication means what? Sharing information or exchanging information between two persons. This sharing can be local or remote. So local means face to face communication. When two persons are in front of each other and they are communicating face to face, it is called as the local communication. Remote communication is when two peoples are at the different locations or far away from each other. Then it is called as the remote communication. So to perform the remote communication, person can use the telephone network. So in terms of computer network, data communications means exchange of data between two devices via some form of transmission medium such as a wire cable. Okay, so what is meant by data communication? Data communication is nothing but the exchange of data or information between two devices. So devices can be any type of device such as mobile, personal computer, workstation, tablet, laptop. So any two devices exchanging the data via some form of transmission medium. So transmission medium is nothing but it is a path through which data is sent from one device to another. This transmission medium can be wired or wireless. For data communication to occur, the communicating devices must be a part of communication system which is made up of hardware and software. So when I want to communicate with another device, my devices must be a part of the communication system and my device must be a made of hardware is nothing but the physical equipment such as ram or motherboard, hard disk. So my devices must have the hardware and also my devices must have the software. Okay, so suppose I want to share one movie from one mobile device to another mobile device. Okay, so I'm sharing the movie means I am communicating between these two devices. So to perform this communication I must use the share it software on both the devices, then only I can transfer the movie from one device to another. Okay, suppose one device has the software share it but another device does not install the share it software or any other type of software, then they cannot communicate or cannot exchange the data with each other. Okay, so to perform the communication devices must contain the both hardware and the software, and this device must be a part of communication system means this device must be connected to other devices. Next, we will see what are the different characteristics of the data communication. There are four characteristics of data communication system. First is delivery, second is accuracy, third is timeliness, and fourth is jitter. we'll discuss one by one. First of all, delivery. In delivery means the system must deliver the data to correct destination. Okay, so whenever I want to send data to some to other device, then the data must be sent or received by the correct user. Data must be received by the intended device or the user or correct user. Okay, this is called as the delivery. Second is accuracy. The system must deliver data accurately. Okay, means when I want to send the data from one device to another device, then data must be correct. The data should not be altered or data should not be changed, because if the data is changed or altered during the transmission, then this data is not useful. So data must be accurate during transmission. Third is timeliness. The system must deliver data in timely manner. Timeliness means the system must deliver data in timely manner. So timeliness is very important in terms of audio and video data. Okay, means when the data is produced, the data must be immediately transferred to the other device. Okay, so this is called as the timeliness. Means when data is produced, it must be transferred immediately to other devices. Fourth is jitter. Jitter refers to the variation in the packet arrival time. It is also called as the uneven delay in the delivery of audio or video packets. For example, suppose I am watching some video on YouTube, and if video packets are sent after every 30 minutes, okay, but some of the packets arrive at 40 minutes millisecond delay, some arrive at the 15 millisecond delay, so there is uneven delay between the packet arrival. Okay, so the quality of the video will not be good. Okay, so variation in packet arrival time is nothing but the jitter. So jitter must be minimum, then only we can see the video with good quality. So these are the four characteristics of data communication. Next we will see what are the different components of a data communication system. So there are five components in data communication system. This is the diagram which shows the different components of data communication system. So there is message, sender, receiver, transmission medium, then protocol. So we will discuss these five components in detail. So message is nothing but the information to be communicated. In this diagram, message is shown by the yellow rectangle. Okay, so this is the message. So message is nothing but it is a data or information which we have to send from one device to another device. Okay, so message is information to be communicated. So message can be in any form. It can be in text, number, picture, audio or video. Okay, so message can be in any form. Second is sender. Second component is sender. Sender is nothing but it is a device that sends the message. Okay, so the device which is going to send the message is called as the sender. Okay, so in this diagram, the rectangle, this rectangle is going to send the data, so it is a sender. Next, receiver. Receiver is a device which is going to receive the data. Okay, so here this rectangle or this cube is going to receive the data sent by the sender. So this is our receiver. So receiver is going to receive the data. Fourth is transmission medium. Transmission medium, it is a physical path through which message will be sent from sender to receiver. Okay, so transmission medium can be wired or wireless. Examples of transmission media, wired media include twisted pair, coaxial cable, fiber cable. Then examples of wireless transmission media is radio waves or Bluetooth, microwave. These are the example infrared waves. These are the example of wireless media. Fifth is protocol. Fifth element is a protocol. A protocol is a set of rules that govern the data communications. Okay, so it can be sent as an agreement between the two communicating devices. Okay, so whenever we want to communicate between two devices, these two devices must follow the some rules, some guidelines. These rules is nothing but the protocol. So without a protocol, two devices may be connected but will not communicate with each other. Okay, so protocol is some rules that must be followed by the these two devices during communication. So these are the five components of data communication system. So first is messages, the information which we are going to send. Second is sender, it is a device which sends the data. Third is receiver, it is a device which will receive the data. Fourth is transmission medium. Okay, it is a physical path through data is going to send from sender to receiver. And fifth is the protocol. It is a set of rule that controls the data communication between two devices. Next we will see data flow. What is meant by data flow? Data flow defines how data direct from one device to another. Okay, so data flow, it is a mechanism which defines how is data is sent from one device to another devices. So there are three types of data flow. First is simplex mode, second is half duplex, and third is full duplex. We'll see each mode one by one. First is simplex mode. In simplex mode, communication is unidirectional as a one-way street. Means what? The data is sent only in one direction. In simplex mode, data is sent only in one direction, that is unidirectional. Means among the two devices, only one device will send the data and other device will receive the data. So this diagram shows the example of simplex mode. Here data is sent from the main frame to the monitor. Okay, so data is sent only in one direction. So example of simplex mode is keyboards and traditional monitors. Okay, because keyboard is going to produce the input and monitor is going to display the input as a output. So data is transferred from keyboard to monitor, not from monitor to keyboard. Okay, so keyboard and monitor is an example of simplex mode because data is transferred in only one direction. Okay, so in simplex mode, the entire capacity of the channel is used by only one device or in only one direction. The entire capacity means whatever the bandwidth. Okay, so whatever the bandwidth of this channel is used by only one devices and only in one direction. Okay, so this is about the simplex mode. Second is half duplex. In half duplex mode, each station can both transmit and receive the data but not at the same time. That is when one device is sending, the other device will receive the data, and when second device is going to send the data, first device will only receive the data. Okay, so this diagram, second diagram, shows the example of half duplex. The direction of data is in both the direction, but only one device is going to send the data at a one time. So example of half duplex mode is walkie talkie. Okay, so in this, the entire capacity of the network is, or the entire capacity of this channel is used by both stations. Okay, so when station 1 is going to send the data, the capacity, entire capacity is shared by this station. When station 1 is going to send the data, the entire capacity is shared by the second device. Okay, so capacity is shared by each direction or by both directions. Third is full duplex mode. In full duplex mode, both stations can transmit and receive data simultaneously or at the same time. Okay, so example of full duplex is telephone network. Okay, so as shown in diagram, the data is sent in both the direction and at the same time. So example of full duplex mode is telephone network, because in telephone network both persons or both parties can communicate with each other at the same time. In full duplex mode, signals going in one direction share the capacity of the link with signals going in the other directions. Okay, so the capacity of this channel is shared by both these stations. Okay, so whatever the capacity or the bandwidth is shared by the both station 1 and station 2. Okay, so sharing can be occur in two ways. Either the link must contain two physical separate transmission paths, one for sending or other for receiving the data, or the capacity of the channel is divided between the signals traveling in both directions. Okay, so capacity is shared between two devices in two ways. So this is about the data flow. So three types of data flow we have discussed: simplex mode, half duplex mode and full duplex. Next we will see networks. What is mean by network? Network is a set of device or nodes connected by communication links. Okay, so network is nothing but it is a set of device. This is one device, this is second device, this is third device, and these are connected by some communication link. Okay, so a node can be a computer, it can be a printer, it can be a mobile or any other device which is capable of sending and receiving the data. So nodes can be a any type of computer, printer, mobile which are connected through a communication link. Okay, so this communication link is nothing but the transmission path through which data is going to send from one device to another device. Okay, so what are the different network criteria which defines whether the network is good or not? Okay, so network criteria defines whether our network is good or not. So there are three types of criteria. First is performance, second is reliability, and third is security. We'll see these criteria one by one. So first criteria is performance. Performance can be measured in transit time, response time, throughput, and delay. So to measure the performance, we are going to use four factors: transit time, response time, throughput, and delay. So what is meant by transit time? It is the amount of time required for a message to travel from one device to another. So transit time is nothing but the total time required to send data or message from one device to another device. Okay. So if transit time is less, we can say that performance of our network is high. If the transit time is high, then we can say that performance is low. Second is response time. Response time is the elapsed time between an inquiry and a response. Okay, so response time means when we give some request or give some inquiry and when we get the response. Okay, so suppose in I am going to search data communication ebook in the Google. Okay, so when I type data communication in Google, so this time and when I get the result from the server, and this time, so time between the inquiry or request and the response is nothing but the response time. Okay, so if response time is low or less, we can say that network of performance of network is good, and if response time is high, then performance will be low. Third is throughput. Throughput is nothing but a total number of data sent in unit time. Unit time means either it is 1 millisecond, 1 microsecond, or in 1 second. So if our network is able to send 1 Mbps data in 1 second, then we can say that throughput of our network is 1 Mbps. Next is delay. Delay, it is a time required for a data to travel from one device to another due to traffic congestion in network. Okay, so if data requires high time to send from one device to another device, it is called as the delay. So if delay is low, we can say that performance of our network is high, and if delay is high, then performance of the network is low. Likewise, if throughput is more or number of data sent in unit time is high, we can say that performance of our network is high, and if throughput is low, then performance of our network will be low. Second criteria is reliability. Reliability defines the time taken by a network to recover from the failure. So if our network fails due to some technical problem in hardware or software of the network, then time required to recover this network is nothing but the reliability. Okay, so if time required by a network to recover from failure is low, then we can say that reliability is high. And if time taken by network to recover from failure will be high, then we can say that reliability of network is very low. Third criteria is security. So security means protecting data from unauthorized users and protecting data from damage. Okay, so security, if our network has a high security, or if your network is capable to protect the data, then we can say our network is good. Okay, so security can be used to protect our data, or to protect our data from damage, or to change data during the transmission. Okay, so if security is not provided, then we can say our network is not secure and network is not good. Okay, so these are the some criteria, three criteria which defines whether our network is good or bad. Next point is types of connections. So as we study, a network is nothing but when two or more devices are connected to each other through a link. So this link is a communication path through which data is transferred from one device to another. So there are some ways in which these devices are connected to the link. So there are two possible types of connections: point to point connection and multi point connection. We'll see these two types one by one. So first is point to point connection. So a point to point connection provides a dedicated link between two devices, and the entire capacity of the link is reserved for transmission between these two devices. Okay, so this diagram shows the example of point to point connection. So here a single link is shared between these two devices, station 1 and station 2. Okay, so there is point to point connection. Station 1 is going to send the data to only station 2, and station 2 is only going to send the data to station 1 through this communication links. So the capacity or the bandwidth of this channel is going to used by these two devices only. The example of the point to point connection is our TV, television, and the remote control. Okay, so when we are going to change the channel by the remote control, then we establish a point to point connection between a remote control and a television control system. Okay, so remote control and television is example of point to point connection, where we have created a point to point connection between remote control and our television. Okay, so in point to point there is single transmitter and single receiver and dedicated link between two devices. Second is multi-point. A multi-point is one in which more than two specific devices are going to share a single link. Okay, so we can say it is a opposite to point-to-point connection. Okay, so here in multi-point, only one single link is shared between the multiple devices. Okay, so the capacity of the channel is shared between all these devices. Okay, so what is the difference between point to point and multi point? In point to point there is only single link, and this single link is shared between two devices, and in multi point a single link is shared between the multiple devices. Okay, so multiple recipients of a single transmission. So in multi point there is a multiple receivers. Okay, means when mainframe is going to send the data. Okay, so when mainframe going to send the data, this data is received by all these devices, that is by station 1, station 2, station 3, means single transmission and multiple receiver. Okay, multiple recipients of a single transmission. So this multi-point single link is shared between the multiple devices. Okay, so these are the two types of connections which we are going to use in the network. So this connection depends how devices are going to connect to single link. Okay, so in next video we'll discuss about the physical topology. What is mean by physical topology? It is also called as the network topology. So we'll discuss what is mean by physical topology and what are the different types of physical topology are used. So thank you all of you for watching this video.